All right. So, we're still getting on up there. CBIS, PLR, PLTR, Tesla, BSX, Intel, SoFi, GSIT. All right. So it looks like WISA is getting on up here, pushing up. Had a previous top at. Good morning, Jim. Looking at WISA. Of course, we had quite a sporadic Friday, and this morning WISA is up. It says that they signed a letter of intent to acquire Comhear, COMHEAR, and it's a super low float. So let's see if we can map out some levels on it. We'll jump over here to the yearly. Good morning, Donnell. Lackluster scan. Yeah, WISA. If WISA's the best we got, maybe one of those days. But looking on the daily chart here, WISA had a somewhat of rejection up here at this resistance of the 450. I do not know if it can get up there. Had some more, let me just extend this to the left. Has some more consolidation around that level, so that may be an actual level there. Let's look back a little bit. Yeah, that's all the information I can see on it. Not great though. And this gap up is still under this resistance level, so maybe quite weak. Looking at the 4-hour, we can see it hit a top up here right around the 250s for resistance. And has a bottom down here at the 191 on the 4-hour candle. We'll see how it holds or how it tests this 190. I was looking at my trades. I was looking back at my statistics and everything. And the one thing that killed me on the sub $2 stocks is expectations. Looking for something that just wasn't possible. My expectations down there is just horrible. I'm like, yeah, give me 14 cents. And it gives me like 2. So I'm like, man, that really isn't worth it to me. I'd rather be in a better winning position, buying those obvious supports that are gonna actually give me a bounce where I want them. I mean, 5 cent, but the risk to reward is what I was looking at. Like I took a trade last week, 5,000 shares. It only gave me like 5 cents, but 5 cents is 250. So I'm like, could have did a little bit better with smaller share size on something a little bit more expensive. Maybe take 2,000 shares and get a full 14 cents. It's a little bit better. But WISA already showing a lot of wicks here on the 15-minute. A lot of pressure right around this 237. But we'll see where this hour opens. Had a big indecision on this hour. Looks like it tried to break out, failed, and came back into indecision around the 225s. And now the 225s is looking like the point where it's either going to make it or break it. Good morning, Lori. 225 make or break. Now I put this as resistance 225 because that's what it's looking like right now. But yeah, they're just acquiring a company. Their float is looking like 1.96 million. Not a crazy amount of insiders or institutions in this one. No shelf registrations to be seen. Okay, so this one says it's got 16% owned by institutions and 7% owned by insiders. Oops. And this one says it's got 3.179 in the float. Okay. It is optionable and shortable. Performance in the quarter, performance in the half annual, performance in the year. Red on everything. Okay, I'm just going to read what WISA is actually into. They're in semiconductors, based out of, what is OR? Oregon of United States. Oregon. Yeah, Beaverton, Oregon. They develop, manufacture, and sell audio wireless technology for smart devices and next generation home entertainment systems in Europe, North America, and Asia Pacific. The company offers wirelessly the company offers wirelessly transmit module systems. It serves immersive audio experiences primarily to consumer electronics companies. Okay, so they were known as Summit Wireless Technologies, but changed its name to WISA Technologies in March 2022. Was incorporated in 2010. Okay. Has 8 million shares on the day. I was also looking over at this one, CVS. CVS had popped up here. So it's a healthcare type stock, but it offers a dividend. It's looking at this daily chart. It's definitely had a few legs, or so I was looking at it, had a few legs up, extensions up, and has had a few legs down. And what I was noticing on these legs down, these legs are getting smaller. So this first one was from 107 down here to 86, right? This second one is from 104 down here to about 184, about $20. Then we get another leg, 90 down to 72, about 20 bucks. And now we're under this. This leg's looking like what, 78 down to 68, so about 10 bucks. But since it's doing these consecutive $20, I'm wondering, is it going to have some kind of double bottom confirmation that the leg is trying to reverse? Looking back here on previous supports though, as it was coming up, we had a little bit of support here at 65, some support around this 67, and pretty much around or under 70 is a little bit of support looking back here on the time frame. So I'm wondering, can it hold this level? It does pay out a little dividend. Let me see over here, dividend yield 351. I'm guessing that's per share or something like that. But yeah, I was looking at that for the dividend, so I added it over here to the dividend watch list. because I'm just noticing things. And also still watching the banking stocks, waiting for this whole Fed now thing to drop. Don't know how it's going to affect the banks, but it looks like it's going to affect it's going to be a good thing for the banks, but it's going to be a huge I wouldn't say absolute bad thing, but it's not going to be great for the people. You will lose control of your money. You lose control of the power of your money. Good morning, Drifter. I don't know. Putting everything in a digital format, all it takes is one hack. You could change the whole value system of the economy. The whole value. So that means if your dollar is worth $1 and somebody hacks in there like, today it's going to be $3. Nah. It's going to be some major cybersecurity that needs to be done on that. Maintenance daily, maintenance hourly. But with every solution we create, we definitely also create a bunch of bugs. We can see that. We can see that just across the gaming sphere. Every time they make a game, it comes out with like 1,000 bugs, even if it's a good game. Anyway, Whistler is looking like going to be the top watch for shorts and longs today. An obvious level for it to fall back to is maybe the 174s. We're looking at the 15-minute. Had a little wick up here to 192. Bottom side 150s. And then the mid-range 72-ish level. So we'll see where it wants to fall to. Anyway, did you guys end up trading anything on Friday, or did you just enjoy your weekend and just, enjoy? Well, it was storming here, a lot of rain, but, you know, everything was sunny on Sunday, super sunny. It was like 100-something degrees. We were out cooking on the concrete. GSIT was that random pop-up, and I when I see charts like this just aggravates longs. The longs that got chopped around here in GSIT on Friday, and then into aftermarket after they've lost money on Friday, it pops up like $5. That's nothing but an emotional play. And I guess, me, Donnell, and I believe it was RicksCon in the Discord was talking about the different strategies that we use. And sometimes, with momentum, true momentum trading, you're trading as something is already going in your direction. And I was like, yeah, I'm buying the bottom of the bottom. I'm trying to buy the lows of the lows for pretty much pivot trading. Basically, I'm looking for a stock that's trending up, but I'm trading the pivot. Trading that place where the shorts are like, you know what? I think we've won enough. I think it's getting a little bit too dangerous. Let's take some profit. Now, pivot trading is kind of more dangerous because I'm buying the lows. Um, And it's hard because some pivots don't continue back upwards. They'll pivot, they'll give you a nice, 20 cents, 30 cents, and you better be looking to take profit because it can definitely pivot back against you as quick as it pivoted in your favor. But with momentum trading, true momentum trading, you're looking for the breakouts. You're looking for the break. Any breaks higher is what you're really looking for, and using that breakout level usually as some type of stop, whether it's a full stop out or maybe a percentage of your shares as a stop out, and then you can just add back if it continues up. But I think in the markets that we've seen, it gives some days it gives some A+ setups for uh, momentum trading, and some days it gives some A+ setups for pivot trading. But finding an A+ setup every single day is almost impossible. Unless you're trading in like different markets. Maybe some market could be affected by some other catalyst, some other stimulus or whatever. But in the same market, find an A+ setup every day, not very likely. Even on the days that we were seeing, those 300, 400 moves every single day, there still wasn't A+ setups on them. They were like, the diamond hand plays if you played them every single day. So I'm looking for the probability to win. Oh yeah, let me look at my. I forget to look over these questions that I like to ask before I get into trades. I was looking over them and kind of recalibrating them for what I saw in my stats. First question I'm asking on an analysis side, hey, how many outstanding shares does it have? The more choppy typically. Sometimes we'll see a high outstanding shares. If it has a good catalyst, it can move like a low float. It can take off. Sometimes they're very unpredictable. You never know when they're gonna take off. They just come down low, accumulate for a little bit, and it's no kind of definite marker that it's about to take off. Same thing with the drop. Is it a top volume mover? I like to see something that is gaining the attention of people on the day. Does it have a catalyst? If it does, great. Most of the time, I do not trade stocks that don't have a catalyst because I'm buying the dip. And buying a dip on something that doesn't have a catalyst is akin to death. It may not come back up at all. Is a stock consistently giving the win that I'm looking for? Now, typically I'm looking for about 10 to 14 cents. Under the $2, what I was looking at is usually on my $2, I lose a lot under $2. But usually it's because greed and expectations are too high. So usually I can get like 5 cents off of them. But is 5 cents worth it on the risk that I have to take to make money on it? Pre-market variable or pre-trade variables. What's the competition on the day? Has the competition doubled or tripled the stock that I'm looking at, the one that I'm interested in? If it's tripled it, it's definitely a no trade. Doubled, we'll see. If more news drops or something, maybe. But triple, nah. Are there any large obvious areas on of interest on the level 2 for support or resistance? When we look at those level 2 numbers, are we seeing any very peculiar numbers sitting out here on the level 2s, whether it's on the ask or the bid? Like right here, there's a 10,000 share right here at 245. 10,000 share at 225, 245 on the ask. Now, if we look across, we'll see 240 there. So 240, 245. If we look across everything else, we don't see any other 10,000 share positions. Oh, there's one at 309 right there. So those will be places that I would take note and be like, okay, something may happen there. Why is this sitting here? And can those be tested? 240, 245, and $3 have a good some good levels. And then I look on the bid side and I say, okay, is there anything matching that? Any 10,000 levels on this one? And no, I'm not seeing anything on the bottom side. So definitely some resistance over the top. I would put those out there. Let me just put those on the scan or on the chart. So the first one is 240. So we'll draw a little bit of resistance, 240. See what happens there. Next one was 309. 309 is kind of out there. That is kind of out there, but you never know. That's why we draw the levels up there. But the probability is kind of low. So we'll see what happens on those resistance levels. And you can do that on all of the stocks. I do them on all of them. When I get ready to, when I'm interested in something, I want to see, hey, is there some kind of size sitting out there looking 14,000? And we look down the rest of the list, no other 10,000s. There's one at 140. Now that is quite a drop. Of course, they'll be willing to buy all the way down there. But the market wants to move to where the people are, where the majority of the shares are. And it has those motions where it tenses up, then it relaxes. It tenses up and then it relaxes. You know, kind of like a muscle. It's a lot of things at play, I guess. You could compare it to, you know, gravity. Something falls, it has a little bounce. You can compare it to muscle contractions. You can compare it to a wave, like a sine wave, where you're looking at a light and the sine wave is going through a filter. Things revert to the mean. So many comparisons that you can do, but you have to find what works for you. What works, what makes it make sense in your mind. What's So we have about 7 minutes to the bell. Jim says, could you tell me the float on LMFA? LMFA. LMFA up 72%. Let's go look into LMFA. So we are stats. Float is looking like, and what is the name of this one? LM Funding America. Float is looking like 7.49 million. Has quite a bit of insiders and institutions. 31%, 27. We'll see if that is if all of the data is supporting that. Short float, short percent shares float. All right, let's go and look at if they have any kind of shelf registrations on LMFA. But for right now, Yahoo is saying it's got 7.49 million shares in the float. Short squeeze, LMFA. Owned by insiders, 25, 27. Where's that float? Shares float, not there. Percent. Short percent not showing. Okay. Let's go over here. LMFA. Looking like 9.77 million. So they're right in the same range there. 9.77 million and then 7 million at the other one. It is shortable and it is optionable. Volatility in the week 5.39, and that's going to change once this thing opens. How much is it up? Let me see. This thing is up 72%. Okay. 9 million shares traded. Does it have any kind of news on it? LMFA, they had some earnings release. Looks like they had Q1 revenue 2.31 loss per share. Q1 EPS beats. So they did beat their estimate. Sales was 2.31 million, beat the 1.40 estimate. We'll see how that acts. Let's go and look at the daily chart for this one. Okay, so it had a possible high here at the 96, and then the next one was at the 148. Right now, its price is at the 129, so it's between these two levels. Any obvious places for it to, let me extend this to the left. So it had a little bit of consolidation back here around this $1. And then extend this one to the left. And we can see a little, kind of like a little range in here from the 150 down to the $1. We'll see what it wants to do. It's at 130 right now. Up 74%, holding the majority vote on the day. But we do see a clear range. Let me back this up a little bit and see if that intersects with anything else. Nope, not really. So these are pretty much the data points in this range right here. Now, of course, we want something obvious that everyone can see. And so these peaks right here, peaks and valleys, are super obvious for everyone. 150, super obvious resistance. And we'll see if it wants to hit this, come back down and maybe test down and go back through. But we'll see. It did close on Friday at 74 cents and has a bottom under this. I don't know if it'll, so the 200 moving average is right here at the 86 cents. So that's pretty much what you would want to see hold if it comes down that much. That 86, 80 or around the 75, above the 75 would be best. And let's jump back over here to the 4 hour. So we have clear level of the 150s for resistance. And then we have a clear level well, we have a little bit of support right around the $1 on the 4 hour. And then let's see. On the hour chart, I guess it would be the same, but we already found the levels on the daily and the 4 hour. So those two will be a lot more powerful than these lower time frames. So we'll see what these lower time frames want to give us on the hour and the 15-minute. But for right now, 150 looking like a massive top for it, and $1 looking like a little bit of support. So we'll see how it holds around the $1. Only 30 cents off of the $1 anyway, so wouldn't be a huge move down right there. WISA also finding a little bit of resistance as well. Yeah, LMFA is a sub $2, so it would pop up on my percent gainer scan once the market opens, so it should be popping up here soon on this one since it's up 72%. But yeah, it's gonna need to hold some levels here. 126, 125s. Has a top here of the 133s, has room up to the 150s, 20 more cents. We'll see if they can get active. See if it can hold up the VWAP, because that's going to be a determining factor for retail. And now it's not really respecting VWAP that much. Bottom side, let's see, right around the 125s. But anyway, this is like the first minutes. This got to play out. You don't know which way it's going to go. But right now, top two movers, LMFA and WISA. WISA moving on up to this level. The first level that was to be tested was at the 240 for WISA that we saw on the level twos. And then that 309 was the next level, but it's got to get through 240 and probably hold for people to believe in it. But yeah, it's doing its thing. LMFA. Will it come down and test that dollar? WISA is a little bit more expensive, so it could give bigger ranges for you. This first candle is from the 215 up to about the 240, so it's about a 30-cent gain there. And we're trying to see if that 240 can crack. 240, it tested above it just a little bit. $240 holding there. There it is, getting on through there. That 250 is holding, man. Still up 11%. The most, the highest percent mover out of the open. So my question is, okay, can it hold this bottom here, which is the 215, and then go back up and test the 240 again? Because the 240 is a obvious level of resistance. Even on the hour chart here, we can see the wicks right up there to the 240, going towards the 250. If it dumps through this level, dumps through $2, maybe some weakness, may need to come back down here to maybe the 190s, the 175 or something like that. But if it holds this, it could get bullish. There's the 240s again, retesting, holding around this level, pushing. Yep, there's the push through at that 240. Let's see how it holds. Can it get through that 250 level? 248s, 249, 250 touch. And now can it hold? Yep, 255s, 256s. The next level that we had up there was the 309, but we'll see how it holds. It's going to have to do a pullback here, because that was that's a lot of orders getting filled at that level. Obvious level of the 240. So now WISA is the number one on the day. LMFA kind of dropping back. '60s. '16. Okay, getting on up there. Well, I thought 309 was kind of out there, but man, that thing's pushing. Definitely a level on the and now see, that's why I take notes before the pre-market, because now those levels are gone. So I mean, those levels were there, but now, you know, just disappeared. Just disappeared. See if we can go ahead and get over the 275s. So speaking of, while WIS is doing this thing up here, let's go look at LMFA. This dollar was where I was saying it looks like support on the across the board. We'll see what happens at this dollar, but it's only what 9 cents away from the dollar. We'll see if it can. And the thing is, I don't rush into trades like this because of the momentum. So just because it hits the dollar, I want to see it hit that dollar and find a wall. I don't want to just buy at the dollar because you might be buying a trap. Especially a lot of people get very fearful when things start going back to sub dollar levels. So you want to see it hold around this dollar, give it a little bit of time, and then kind of look for, hey, is this thing holding or not? But we also want to keep in mind the competition on the day. WISA is definitely some competition on the day. It's higher priced. It's giving more volume per candle. This candle by itself went from 215 up here to 268 ish. So people are going to see there and they're going to say, man, this thing's got a lot more range than LMFA. And so LMFA may lose their interest because of that. And we can see that on the volume. This is why I'm so hard on the volume on my trades. I want to see people in there, not just stupid people, but smart people. All of them in there. Get them all. CBS. Let me look at these scans. Google. GOO. GL. All right, pulling back to the 240s now. And this is that test. So we got a scalp potential from 240 up to the 260. There was a 20-cent scalp potential, and now it's returned to this level. So now it's time to say, okay, one, this thing is under VWAP. How are retail going to react to this thing being under VWAP at a obvious level that was on the level twos, right? And then what is the obvious level that it could get caught at under VWAP? Because that's usually where people are looking under VWAP, is for it to return to a previous level like the 174, 156. The 193 is pretty close. I probably wouldn't be buying there. I'll let it come through this previous high during pre-market and see if it can actually play down and find a wall around the 175s or maybe even the 150s. But definitely give it some time to figure out what it wants to do so you don't get cooked. WISA, or no, not WISA, LMFA still floating around that 110. Said WISA is at the 200 moving average, 278. Look, WISA. Wait, 200 move. Oh, it must be on a lower time frame. I was like, when I looked up here on TOS on the daily chart, I was like, wait, 200 moving average is way up here at the 26. This thing is so far away from that. So you must be, I don't know what time frame you're looking at the 200 moving average. I was like, wow, it jumped all the way up there. All right, so WISA playing around with the 240s. $4 hour. Okay, okay. Ah, I see. I see. Yeah, I only have my 200 moving average on the daily chart. Only thing I really use on the lower time frames, 4 hour, hour, and whatever, is the VWAP and support and resistance. That's it. So it threw a high up here, the 137 on LMFA resistance. And actually looking at where it's coming down to, that's pretty much the $1 is like the halfway point of the this previous green candle. It's almost exactly half. So can it hold up that half, or how easily will it slip through the $1 is the question. If we look out here on the level twos, we can see that the 107 has 11,000 shares. The 102 has 12,000. The $1 has 14,000. So if it slips quickly through about what 40,000 shares there, that's not a good sign. That's a lot of sellers getting filled. We want to see maybe something build even bigger around the $1. Maybe, 30,000 shares, 50,000 shares, something like that. Looking on the ask, we have 26,000 or, well, 26, 38,000. I can't do the math. Whatever that is, like 60,000 right there around the 113s. We have 15,000 at the 118s, but remember this is a cheaper stock, so people are able to put on bigger sizes. So these may not be the smart people putting on bigger sizes. It may be some people that's going to get cooked because this thing is cheaper. WISA still under this 240. Going to be closing up this 15-minute in 2 minutes. Huge wick on the hour and big wick on the 4-hour as well. A lot of pressure here. And we just want to see if this thing can hold and retest the 240. And the hold point would probably be what, the 207, right around the $2, the whole dollar level for a pop back up. But if it can't hold there for a couple of minutes, it's probably going to be weak. LMFA did not come down to an obvious level. And I got caught with this so many times. I'll see this bounce up. When I have a plan, I'll be like, my plan is the dollar. And then I'll see it start bouncing up and I'll say, oh man, this thing's getting bought up. I buy it and it comes right back down to where I was planning on looking. I'm like, why didn't I wait for the obvious level? I saw it popping, I got caught in FOMO. What's wrong with me? That's happened too many times. I can't even explain the feeling that I feel when I do that, because I know I've seen it in my data too many times. Let it reach the obvious level, let it form a wall, a support floor or ceiling at that obvious level. Because right now, this ain't obvious. It's about to cook some longs. Okay, WISA. The 15-minute just opened up. New 15-minute candle. Looking kind of bearish, popping down back into this indecision level of the. Now let's see how this reacts at the 220 breakdown. 220 breakdown on the hour looks like a bit of indecision. So can it push easily through the 220? LMFA, new 15-minute as well. Has not reached that obvious level, and look, still trying to get down to that obvious level. People bought that little suck up, that little FOMO movement, and they're still gonna get cooked. They're gonna get cooked. And the bottom of this is the 105. So 105 breakdown. Let's go back over here. 220 getting tested hard. Let's see how easily it gets through this 220. So kind of floating around the 220, but still a nice red candle. Nice push down on the wicks. So we got a lot of bearish signs, visible bearish signs to everybody. Everybody can see these wicks. So let's see if the Shorts want to get active, or the longs want to sell under 215. I know they got a stop loss right right at 215. They're gonna drop all their shares. Let's go back over here. Where did the LMFA? LMFA popping back up there a little bit. Still can come back down to an obvious level. So I'm saying it's gonna slam. I'm thinking it's gonna slam down. Be a nice slam back through this 110 level, because none of this is obvious. This is just people playing on the lower time frames. But it does have some resistance up here, 137. Let's see that slam, big boy. 125's right under the 125's $quarter level. It looks so bullish though. Looks so good. How quickly can it come back down to $1? So LMFA is also getting passed by the competition as well. SoFi getting past it, which is a loan, or don't they do like student loans or something like that? Then we have Tesla coming up and catching up as well slowly. But other than that, we don't really have any close competition on it. LMFA working on this slam to get to that obvious level. Let's take them home, baby. I promise. I've been caught in these too many times. Too many times. Too many times. They get you trapped in there. They take your socks off and they massage your feet. It's not fun. All right, what's slowing down as well? Just taking his time around this 220. Let's see if they can actually get through these levels here. Break that 220 down. Look at 10,000 out there on the ask. It's definitely going down around the 220 level. We're seeing 219s. If we look over here on the tape, all we need to see a bunch of red 19s over here. Can we see that? 23s, 24s. Can we see a bunch of red 19s? LMFA right on down there to the $1. Back to the 104. Obvious drop. Is it halted? Oh yeah, LMFA is halted down. Wow. So hopefully you didn't get into LMFA and lose your socks. But WISA, see WISA, can we go ahead and get this drop through the 120s back to obvious levels? Or is it actually going to hold and go back up and test this 240? So if it holds here, 216, and then goes back up and tests, that could happen too. Because the other one is failing, LMFA, failing very, very badly. Halted down. So we'll see if money flows over here to WISA. WISA has 26 million shares traded on it. SoFi taking the lead on the day with 27,200,000 and whatever. Oh man, you gotta have fun trading, man, because it makes it memorable. So when I see this over and over again, I can remember when I talked about this. I'm like, oh, I've seen this before. Why would I get caught in this? Why would I get caught in this? All right, so 220. Can we see any big sizes at 220? No big sizes. What, 671? Is somebody hiding there at 220? I don't know. LMFA. 225's coming up there. We're seeing some green trades coming here, and what green means on mine is that they are trading above the ask. Now that could be a short entry above the ask, or it could be longs buying it up. So either way it goes, it could be risky, especially with it going quite flat here out of the open. This has been flat for quite a while. This is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15-minute candles flat. So what's the probability of it curling and going parabolic? I don't know. You know, I don't know. It doesn't seem very probable. It continues to stay in this range. LMFA still halted down. Let's see. Tesla, they got a lawsuit, something dealing with their batteries. Their batteries like not holding charge or something like that. They got some kind of lawsuit going on. So we'll see if Tesla gets a little bit more attention. When is LMFA supposed to open up? It seems like it's been halted forever. LMFA halted at 949, should be opening up at the 954.56. 954.56 in a little bit. Okay, WISA going back and testing the 240s. Now, this is what I was talking about. Could we see it hold this bottom and go back and test the 240s? It's definitely looking like it wants to test the 240s, but we'll see. The risk level here, I mean, it's a 15-cent risk right now, but we'll see. It's one of those kind of wait and see because it's right at VWAP as well. So are people going to be scared of it, or are people going to go in and attack it through the 240? Especially with the other low float failing, LMFA. Are they going to attack it? It's looking like they want to attack it through the 240. I'm seeing 37s, 38s on the bid here. 39s just went through. Can we see a bunch of green 39s is what we kind of want to see it fighting through that 40. 35s, 35s. Where the 39s at? Up, you tripping. Tripping. Seeing them fall on the tape, 30s. Yep. Maybe the low floats just don't want it today. Got 28 million up there on the volume. So people are definitely looking at it. Still up 6% out of the open. Not a crazy percentage gain. LMFA has opened up, going towards that dollar now. Let's see if it can, how easily it breaks that dollar down. I'm seeing 30. I just saw 39s there quickly, but it's playing around. I'm thinking it can push through that 240 level. It's acting like it wants to grind higher, but this, since it is acting like a grinder, if you're looking for a big explosion, it may happen, it may not happen, but I would just be careful because it's not obvious. This candle here went from the 216 up to the 238, so about what, 18, 20 cents, right around 20 cents, 19 cents, something like that. So the candles are getting a little bit smaller as well. We'll see if they can open up. It's only been 30 minutes into the market, but definitely holding around, holding above this 225 level. I mean, 225 could be a risk. I don't know, but it's not a, I don't know if everybody's thinking of 225 as a risk. I know that everybody knows this thing is going flat though. Okay, LMFA ready to break down the $1 to go back to 90 cents. And this is what I was talking about. Let it get to an obvious level and let it hold this level. Show you it can hold, because this is a lot of momentum on a 4-hour candle. 136 down to the 102, especially for this price range, giving up 30 cents of profits. because it's very unlikely that it'll make it back. Down 21% since the open. WISA continue to play around as well. I don't like when stocks do this. If you're gonna go, if you're a good stock, you're gonna go. And you're gonna hold your levels. Right? So at this point, I'd be like, yeah, I need to see this thing fall. I need to see this thing fall back around the 190s would be preferable. SoFi leaving it behind, got 31 million on the board. Tesla still working its way up behind it as well. This just does not look like a parabolic setup right here. But we talked about this Friday afternoon. I was like, with all this stuff moving on Friday that has no reasoning, I bet Monday's gonna be ugly. LMFA. Think about people that bought for this breakout that's still holding. Whew. Whew. Especially people that can size up without experience. Man, taking 6,000 shares up there, 7,000 shares, getting burned, man. And they're sitting there like, man, if I only just hold it, maybe it'll work out. Down 22%, right around this dollar. And now seeing those big sizes disappear. Next size is at the 93 cents, 11,000 shares. Let's go up here a little bit. So 93 cents is the next biggest size that I see, around the 90s. Which is bad because this is so cheap. All right. WISA coming on down, continuing to test above that 225, holding that 225 in here. Anyway, I just looked. It is time for me to get to this meeting. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you're going to continue trading, be careful. Trade those obvious setups that everybody can see. And don't go off of imagination or anything like that, because you will get burned. But yeah, that is it for me today. Don't forget to hit the like button. If you're not subscribed but you enjoy the content, you can consider subscribing. And I will be back on Wednesday morning. If I take any trades, I'll let you guys know how that goes. But for right now, with the low floats that we're seeing, it's just not my type of low float setup. Not looking to catch any knives out here, anything like that. But WISA is looking like the one that's going to possibly be the opportunity of the day, maybe, if it can continue to gain that traction, get people looking at it. But yeah, that's it for me. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.